Hey, how's it going? We're here filming episode 100, Time on the Water Live.
Dude, I can't believe it. 100th episode. We started from jumping on Daniel's live, and now we're here. We're at Tackle Me, episode 100.
We are super ecstatic. It's insane to believe that we've even reached 100. And to be here is super awesome. We love it. We're excited for it. And hey, we're going to keep going. 200.
200.
Yeah, catch us
Coming
then.
next.
Yeah.
What?
Ever.
Catch us on Time on the Water, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Woo!
That was good. That was good.
Hey guys, what's up? I don't know when this is falling in the video. Maybe it's episode 100. Hey guys, what's up? Episode 100. Welcome to Time on the Water, not live.
I love that.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Adam, player. Do a lot of local fishing over here in California.
He's more than just a pretty face. He also catches fish.
Time on the Water live, bro.
We're out here, Tackle Me, over at the Fish RX booth and the VikingHeads booth. And we are...
And bait slingers.
Bait slingers
And Time on the Water.
And Time on the Water, episode 100.
It's like all sorts of stuff going on over here.
All right, so, Adam.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I like to party. I do VikingHeads. I used to do cast and crank, and now I get to be on your guys' cool podcast.
Why do
100.
you say you used to? Like, you still, like, you're casting crank,
Okay,
man.
I don't do cast and crank anymore.
How often are you walking around and someone's like, yo, cast and crank?
Not as much anymore. I'm an unk now, so I'm kind of like the older dudes that listen to it here and there. Or people will go like, wait, didn't you do something else? I'll be like, I used to do the fucking
That's what I'm going to
podcast.
start doing when I see you. Yo, cast and crank!
Oh, fuck no, dude.
Luke Dean, Artemis Charters, also owner-operator Bait Slingers. Check out my stuff on baitslingers.net, Bait Slingers on Instagram, Artemis Charters on Instagram. And if you're already watching this, you know about Time on the Water.
Adam, what's your style of fishing?
Style of fishing is slow pitch jig, and I would say tailspin would be my go-to fishing in the harbors. I just like the reaction bite that it gives, the way they hit it, especially with the slow pitch jig, digging them out of structure, and getting them out. My favorite thing, especially the way they hit it as well, the drop. Can't get enough of that, and then the tailspin. Try to throw a little bit.
No, but you
Don't want to be put in a box.
No.
I love this. I love this. No,
I feel like he does good with the lead head. People aren't fishing the lead head a lot now, just a straight lead head. I feel like Adam's also bringing back the lead head because people don't fish that the same, but I feel like he's bringing that back a little.
I've been this whole summer I've been really on the open jig head. Typically, I would say on the quarter ounce to anywhere from usually a quarter to a half ounce is really a money spot for the harbor for me. Slower fall, especially during a high tide, when you cast it out there and you just let it just slow fall and just have the fish really react to it good instead of it falling pretty fast to what I'm usually used to. I like usually throwing 3/4 ounce to 1 ounce, but slowing it down in the harbor is usually to get more of a spot.
question for all you, for all three of you guys. Talk about weight and tide, like the size of weight and then tide. Like, what are you throwing for what tide in like the ounce?
Almost current as well too, because I feel like tide could be a certain thing, but if the current's moving hard enough, I'm gonna push. I'll put like a 1 ounce or a 3/4 like Luke does.
And I'll even say there's times where, like, the tide's kind of technically slack, but the water's still moving. It's weird.
Exactly.
It's weird. Or even maybe the water's not moving, but your boat's moving.
And this could go differently for Adam because he's fishing more from a tube and from like docks and stuff as well. So the tide might affect him differently than it would affect us.
Yeah, when I'm in the tube, typically it's more wind situation. I can go pretty good against the tide and work against it if I really need to and get to the zone that I want to get into. But usually, when tide's pushing in, usually a half ounce. Right back up too. If I need to go anything heavier, it'll be a 3/4 ounce.
I know mine is like that. I have one card. It says
Yeah, I'm
it's
almost
so trash.
exclusively 3/4 ounce. and I might move to 1 ounce here and there, but
Why not the 1 ounce?
Is this for the tide or for your specialty?
just in general, like I don't care about. I like.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I would say kind of like there are situations where you need to adjust to the tide, to the current, etc., etc. But for me, I guess it's more just like I've got my style, I've got what I like, and I'm gonna fish that regardless. Like I don't need to change that because of the tide, because it's appropriate for it. Where I'll move to 1 ounce is if it's moving a bit swifter, maybe, but I will rarely go below 3/4. I almost never throw a half. I feel like these guys will go, well, they're biting on the drop, so I'm going to go lighter so that it's dropping more. But I feel like sometimes it's kind of counterintuitive because just because they're biting on the drop doesn't mean they want that drop to slow down. Sometimes you still want that drop to be happening quickly to entice the reaction. Come on back, bro.
Dude, like be on the video. Go.
Yeah,
I saw your post on this. I want to check this out.
Yeah. But so that's why I usually won't go too light, because just because they're biting on the fall doesn't necessarily mean we need the fall to last longer. You might even, there's times where they're biting on the fall, you go heavier so it's falling faster and enticing that reaction.
But do you think that changes at the wall from like Adam fishing at the harbor?
Well, yeah, for sure, because I'm not going to sit here giving advice on the harbor. I'm giving advice on the lake. Unless I'm specifically asked about what I'm going to do in the harbor, my advice pertains to the wall, because you almost shouldn't even talk to me about the harbor. I don't do it enough.
Whoa.
All of a sudden.
You want to know about spotty? Dude, well, no, but it's like, no, if I'm spotty fishing, it's going to usually be quarter ounce straight braid, and like there's not a lot to it. I'm not doing it often enough to get really dialed in. I've just got a generic way of doing it. Yeah.
I guess I'm an A-rig slut. Like I fish the A-rig during the day, 60% of the time. I do fish it differently than everyone. I fish it to lose it. So I'll drag the A-rig, I'll throw it into the rocks and the holes. I'll fish it like a jig, dude. And maybe because I make my own and I can lose them and I don't give a shit. But I mean, I'll lose 3 or 4 sometimes, but at the same time, I'll catch double up, triple up, sometimes 4.
Now, have you ever had a fully loaded A-rig?
I've had a true fully loaded. I've seen pictures that cut and give you 5 fish, and I don't see the rest of the video, but no, I've had a true 5, and I've seen Bobby Martinez pull up multiple true 5s.
But have you had a trifecta on an A-rig?
No, only you have.
No. Wouldn't that be crazy?
No, a spotty and a calico and a sandy. Yeah, I mean the A-rig's my go-to, and I'm gonna.
We're making a statue of that person.
And if I'm gonna not get bit and I'm screwed, go for the good old sled head and the fucking jerk shad. So I mean,
I love how you said jerk shad.
Yeah, dude, it's like if you want to get bit,
like a fluke.
A fluke?
No, it's a jerk shad.
But
It's a Berkeley jerk shad. It's a fluke, but it does not work without that scent. It's got to smell like buttholes to get working.
Like the gulp.
But it's a fluke.
Yeah,
like the gulp.
But it's a gulp fluke, so it has the scent on it. It smells like shit,
dude,
but it works so good, dude.
It gets bit so bit.
Yeah. But that's kind of my go-to.
I caught a Dorado on a sled head with a fluke.
Yeah.
Why are you guys being secretive here? Adam wants
I don't want him. Don't let Adam know. Dude, all we need is this guy catching Dorado.
So you fish on a bow, you fish on a tube, so you fish harbor and at the wall.
Yeah.
Like, talk about that.
When I hit the reefs and hit the outer wall of Long Beach, or even kelp, even at the islands, I would say my 1 ounce is typically go-to. 5-inch bait. So I like using a 1 ounce swing head when I'm fishing the wall. I'm fishing reefs, fishing kelp, pitching it in between kelps, and then as up close as tight as possible, working it down. Like as everyone always says locally, it's pretty much like stairs. So you're pretty much working the zone down the stairs. If a regular paddle tail ain't working out, my go-to next is throwing a flash at the end of it. See if they want anything like an underspin or a tailspin on that. After that, if nothing's biting, I'm throwing out deep. If they're not close and shallow enough where you think they should be, they're probably not there. They're probably out
out deep.
I
So
got a question for all you guys. What's your go-to search bait?
If I'm looking for suspended fish and stuff, I'll throw an action. Or like a slow bait. I use a backdrop. Something like that. The A-rig's just like, I'm gonna throw it if I know I need to get there. If I want to know what's biting, how it's biting, at least I activate. But the one thing I did notice, like, do you guys throw your tailspins at night?
yeah,
Do they get bit the same?
honestly, I feel like it's almost
better.
it's better.
So a lot of
It's-
people
it's
say
what
like
they're
the
in the mood
wing
for.
doesn't work at night. The one thing that's kind of crazy though is like you see the trends go through. I know you guys use them long enough. So why does the dark sleeper not work anymore? Why does these things not work anymore? Why did the tailspin work so good when dark was like that? Why are these things changing? So to me, it's like why is the tailspin working so much? Is it because it's so popular? Because we know it worked. The dart spin's been around for 10, 15 years, however long they made it. But why is it working now?
Well,
Popularity.
there's small bait in the water, so you have a lot of small flash. When bait's moving around, you don't see the flash of the whole bait necessarily. You see flash, so they're looking for flash. Flash is happening.
But you don't
When
see the
they're- but-
underspin doesn't work as good anymore.
Or I think less people are throwing the underspin. I just see less people throwing it.
I wonder why.
But I mean, like, if people aren't throwing it, you can't say it's not working.
True.
But what I will say is, everything changes night to night. Like, I have a night where I ran out of tailspins one night. They were biting so many tailspins, and then the next 3 trips I couldn't get bit on a tailspin. And so there's ebb and flow to everything. And it's the same thing, right? Like, if I'm getting bit on a lot of dead stick, I'll throw out dark sleepers and start getting slammed. But they haven't been hitting stuff on the dead stick lately.
But remember, like when everyone was catching them on the sudden impact, like those big.
The big trout.
Yeah.
So
And it's like,
that's
what
a perfect
happened to them?
example.
Like-
Well, right now we have a lot of small bait, so it's a lot harder to get bit on that big trout profile right now because the fish aren't cued in on it. Like I have rods designed specifically for that bait, and it's probably my favorite way to catch a fish. But right now, like, we actually got to make a new video. I had a video about kind of how I approach the wall, and I talk about how I start with a 5-inch paddle tail, and I kind of go from there as far as like search bait. 5-inch paddle tail. Do we go smaller? Do we go bigger? Do I move to a trout? Do I move to a craw? Right now, that's changed. It's a 4-inch paddle tail. I tie on a craw, a 4-inch paddle tail, and a fluke, Texas rigged. And I'm just gonna kind of look, see what I see, and pick but I'm gonna be rotating through those to see what they're wanting the most. And if they're tearing up that 4-inch paddle tail, I'll start moving to a 5-inch. And 90% of the time right now with the current bait situation in the water, they won't be hitting that 5 and I'll be moving back down to a 4.
How deep are you fishing off the wall?
I fish as close as I can get that bait to the wall, then I fish it under the boat.
So I'm
fishing the whole column.
I'm a dirty man. I'll fish the sand bass, so I'm going like 60 sometimes. If we're not getting bit at the wall or there's stupid small fish, I'll be like, I know I get a big sand bass.
Well, but
I'm gonna drop an ounce and a half.
But that's what I'm saying. I will fish all the way down to under the boat.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fish from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
And
What's your search bait?
Like what Nick said, my search bait would probably be a slow pitch jig. It would be a 20-gram sumo from Submission.
So you go to that. So then when you find them, what do you switch to?
If they're biting the Submission jig, I would typically downsize in a swim bait from 5 to 4, maybe even like a 3 or 3.5.
because they're on that small stuff.
They're on the smaller stuff, and then if they're reacting to something shiny like that, like a jig, throwing an underspin or tailspin on something like a smaller like that. And then obviously, if they're out deeper, switch out the heads from like you got an ounce head, and then you got a 3/0 size hook instead of your 5 or 6/0 size hook that you typically would throw on a 1 ounce head. But usually trying to find that bite, and then once you do, usually it's pretty steady pickings right after that. Once you locate them, if they're
putting together the puzzle, huh?
yeah, just figuring out where they're at. If they're shallow, like in between like that shallow and that deep section, you know, they're in that 30-foot range off that second reef. It gets pretty good. It gets pretty good.
Do you guys think calicos are migrating? Like, do they migrate from like San Pedro to Long Beach, or do they live at the wall?
From what I heard from everyone that's researched, is that they stay where they are. Like Bobby did that whole research with I forget who it was. He said like the freaking fish live there forever. He's like, you know, we barely knew it. Everything's right in that area. Who knows?
So, like, they gotta migrate to an extent, or they would never spread, right? Like, so, like, I'm not a scientist.
You're not?
No, but what I will say is, I've caught some big ones. I don't think I've caught big ones in the same spot twice. I've never been able to be like, I caught that big one here, let's go back and get another big one here. Maybe I get it, like, you know, in the area, but I've heard guys be like, they live in like a 10-foot square. It's like, no, they're moving up and down that, like, they might not move off the wall, but they're moving up and down the wall.
So, what's up, T? So, T put it well when I talked to him one time about this. He said the wall's like a freeway, and then you'll find in a spot, it's kind of like a crash, right? They'll hang out, feed, and then they move on. And it's kind of like what happened, right? You're searching the wall, you're drifting, you find a spot, and it's like biting.
What are you looking for a crash? I know what I'm looking for. But what are you looking for a crash?
Me?
Ooh.
You're gonna. This is like, you might not want to say it because I know what I'm looking for. And they work a majority of the time if I see it.
If I've got an hour to hit the wall.
So no, just say you're on the wall. What are you looking for the crash?
If I'm on the wall, what? Everyone's got their own style, right? My style, I like to go pretty quick. Often I'll catch up to another boat while we're fishing because I keep my boat on a pretty straight line.
I fished around you before, like I jumped you a couple times.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come on you quick because I like to keep the boat moving quick. I just want to be in fresh water. I want fresh water, and I don't necessarily even mind following behind another boat because I kind of maintain I'm gonna fish different than them. The people on the boat with me are gonna fish different than them, and maybe that person just woke them up. It didn't bite it, but it got them kind of alert. Because I've been behind another boat and caught an 8-pounder that they didn't catch. But if I've got an hour, if I'm like, I've got an hour out here, I'm fishing birds.
You're fishing what?
I'm fishing birds.
Oh, okay. Nate, was that what you were gonna say?
You got it, like.
But I'm not gonna spend the night doing that.
No. But the birds. I'm saying if you're not getting bit, you're gonna give away like what you need to know like pretty quickly, because then you can make a pattern off the birds.
I've even had it where. And I'm not going to go too much, that's all I'm going to say about the birds. We don't need to go into more of it. But I've had it where I'm at the birds and I'm not getting bit. What's up, Steve?
What's cracking? I just got soaked right now, man.
Don't touch me. I've had it where I'm at the birds and I'm not getting bit. And I look closer at them and they're looking inside. And I move to the inside and it's like, it's not your typical thing, but we slam them on the inside that night.
Yeah.
But there's things out there telling you the story.
It's the truth.
You just,
or if you put your rod in the water and you see that little tracer, or why I just leave it.
Bounce.
I'm leaving. I'm going home. I don't even with the bioluminescence.
Have you ever been on the wall where birds are diving around you?
Oh yeah. The thing isn't like, have you ever been on the wall where birds are diving? The thing is, what do you do at the wall when there's no birds at the wall? That's when you're like, oh geez. And you gotta. Here's the thing, and I'm not even gonna. I can't even take credit for this because I think it was C's that said it to me. He was like, "Dude, you gotta know how to listen. It's gonna be talking to you out there. You just gotta learn how to listen to it." And I'll tell you what, when birds are diving, it's not talking to you. It's screaming at you.
Jerk baits?
Crankbaits.
Yeah.
Anything.
Do you crankbait at night?
You can. I'm not a big crankbait guy. But I've seen people catch huge fish on crankbaits.
If birds, I've never had a bad night when birds are diving.
Dolphins blowing up in front of you.
Dude, seals.
Yeah.
People
Usually
sports.
the bad nights to sculpin.
Dude, you know what? if I have a 20 sculpin night, I love it. Like, sculpins fight good. The funny thing is people will go like, they'll see this, oh, there's a seal here. They'll get bent out of shape because they're in that sport boat mentality, dude. We've had good bites with seals around. Seals are a really good sign of life. And out on the wall, they're not trained to feed off the boat, so they usually leave you alone.
All right, we all know calicos hit hard, right? That's why we chase them. But do you feel like they hit harder on a spawn or just in general? Are they more aggressive on the spawn?
Yeah, I feel like they're more aggressive on the spawn for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Spawn fishing's fun.
Yeah.
Even little fish on the spawn are fun.
Yeah. I mean, the sand bass bite that was just here was amazing. Like, I'd never seen anything like that.
You saw that on your screen, remember?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my gosh, dude.
I watched when I went out with MDR Bobby. They went wide open. It was crazy. And the way he fishes them with the live scope's kind of a whole different story.
You want to wrap that up?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's wrap it up with this. All right, guys. This is going to be the last one. We're going to wrap it up. This has been a good episode, by the way. One rod, one reel, one bait on your boat. No questions about it.
$7.94.
Who makes that?
High rod. A Daiwa Tatula 200.
200?
Yeah. And you don't need, 300s are cool, but I feel like I only fish 300s with a really heavy bait.
Yep.
Even my A-rigs, my 794, I don't use on my heavy A-rig, but I'll use it up to like an ounce and 2 ounces, my A-rig, so I'll probably be fishing it. If it's day to go into nighttime with the A-rig, I don't throw the A-rig at night that much. I know people do, I just never had that much luck. But yeah, A-rig with VikingHeads, the new one, it's a 2X hook. With the trailer's usually going to be on something like that, Demiki.
All of them?
Yeah, all Demiki armor shads.
Or are you like 5 and then 1?
No, I don't. I like blades, but I don't like dummies on mine. That's just too much. If I'm dropping deep for sand bass, it's a different story. I'll probably use my that one. I have a Shadow Realm custom I use. Yeah, so Jonathan, so it's Shadow Realm Fishing. He's my other rod.
SoCal hook setter.
There you go. So,
One rod, one bait, one reel.
It's a tough question.
One rod, one reel,
One rod,
one bait.
one reel, one bait. I'm going to have to go with the Bait Slingers Angel's Gate rod. Bait's 150. And it's probably going to be a Texas Rig Fluke 3/4 ounce. That being said, more often than not, I'm going to actually fish my Two Waters rod because it's really light, with a Salty Hundo because it's really light. And I'll put whatever I want on there, usually 4-inch paddle tail or a craw or even the Texas Rig. But I'm going to often go with that because I'm running charters and I'm doing hundreds of casts. I'm doing more casts than the average person's going to do. And it's just easier on my arms in the course of a night. So the first answer is just like if I'm going out on a one-off trip, that's going to be my thing. But the lighter, almost bass, like freshwater bass setup is what I'm going to use just to save my shoulder.
One rod, one reel, one bait on your flow tube.
So I would say the 733, and then I would put the Salty Hundo on there. I would do a 4-inch Manifest Sexy Shad with a
Ooh, sexy shad.
tailspin on there with a 1/4 ounce Viking head.
All right. So this has been good. Me personally, one rod, one reel, one bait.
No one cares.
I'm going. You guys might think I'm nuts, but I'll be on my 764 Coastal Heavy with my 200 pen Fathom and a neck breaker with a sudden impact punch craw all day.
why the Fathom?
Why the Fathom? It's compact. It has a lot of torque. It has a lot of... Dude, I caught my 8-pound sand bass on my 200. It has a lot of power. It has a lot of power. It's never failed on me. So check that out. That's my combo. That's my go-to. But guys,
Love having you on. Catch this episode of Time on the Water, 100th episode with these guys talking calicos and spotties. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Hi, I'm Robbie Dean, RA Dean 57, and I specialize in kayak bass fishing.
Hi, my name is Dylan Kai, also known as Motor Kite on Instagram, and what I really like to focus on is float tubing.
You guys kind of fish different ends of the harbor. Where are you normally out of? You don't give me your spot, but give me your region.
So usually where I fish out of is more towards like the Oil Islands area, closer towards Queen Mary side.
South end of the harbor.
Right, south end of the harbor.
And I usually fish more out of the Rio area.
So northern end of the harbor.
Yeah.
All right. So, what advice do you have for someone that's like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting into kayak fishing? Do you feel like go out there and get the most expensive kayak? Do you feel like maybe get a cheap kayak or even rent a kayak? What's your thoughts?
I think if you're getting into kayak fishing, whatever, just get something to get started. Don't buy a lot of stuff. Like I just got a kayak. I took a few baits out, just kind of learned it, figured out what I want to do and what I learned, and eventually I decided I wanted to get a fish finder. I got a fish finder so I can look for high spots as I'm traveling around the beach area. I just take it slow.
And it's the same question with float tubes. You wanted to get into float tubes.
So for me, if you want to get into float tubing, same thing like he said, it's not really, you don't want an expensive, high quality tube. What's more important is probably your fins. If you want to just get a basic float tube and get a nicer pair of fins, it's going to help you so much, especially dealing with wind and the current and all that, because that plays a big role when float tubing.
Because I wear a size 16, I have what fins I can get, not what's good.
Really?
And I wish I can get a quality.
16?
Yeah, I wish I can get a quality set of fins.
Yeah, good pair of fins is most important. But a float tube, they get expensive. Really, you could probably use one for under $100 and it'll be just fine.
So for both of you, what's the difference between like fishing from shore or fishing from a boat? What do you got to adjust to being in your respective crafts?
I guess the difference between fishing from shore, which I also do still, is with the kayak you can travel to more areas. You can get the areas that you can't get when you're fishing from shore.
Are you bringing different gear? Is it like the same gear it all crosses over?
The same gear. When I'm fishing for shore, I might bring more spotty stuff because I don't always go for spotties when I'm fishing from my kayak. I try to concentrate more on calicos and sand bass.
So you might go a little heavier on the kayak.
Go a little heavier on the kayak.
Just because
some bigger bait.
Just because you're targeting different species, not because the kayak makes that necessary.
On the kayak, you catch white sea bass. I've caught them short black sea bass. Catch good sized halibut, which I'm sure you can catch from shore too. But I think you got more of a chance in the kayak. It's just all about what kind of fish you want to target.
I'd say the big difference for me when I'm float tubing or shore pounding is probably the weights. I tend to go heavier in my float tube.
I also know you're bringing heavier rods than you would from shore too.
Right, yeah. I like to fish heavier line, heavier weight. My sebs are usually bigger too as well. So
closer to what you're using on the boat.
Right, yeah. When I'm using on the boat, I'm definitely using on the float tube, but I'm not always using shore pounding. Yeah.
What do you like about a kayak versus a float tube? Have you kayaked before?
Yeah, so I've kayaked before, and some people love it or hate it, but to me, float tubing I just like it because I feel like I can launch from different places.
Oh yeah, because you're not just launching at the ramp; you're pulling up to spots.
Right, I can launch.
You're pulling up to some tricky spots.
Right, some rocky areas or
spots you maybe not supposed to launch from.
Maybe, yeah. So that's probably the biggest difference. But of course, there's always downfalls. Kayaks got a pretty good place when it comes to travel distance. That's the only downfall is float tubing. You can't travel with.
For me, the kayak, I have a pedal line. So I look at it I'm basically going out to get exercise, and if I catch fish, that's just a plus.
All right, guys.
Enjoy being out there, pedaling around, throwing bait, slinging some bait, and trying to catch fish.
All right, well, thank you guys for being part of episode 100.
Hey guys, we're here with Roxanne.
Hi.
Hey Roxanne, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So, how long have you guys been doing VikingHeads for? Here we go.
Oh. 3 years.
3 years now. And what do you do at the company?
Everything. Everything. Pour, eyeball, pack, invoices. I do everything but paint.
So what does VikingHeads mean to you?
Oh God.
That's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
But reason I ask is because everybody has a story behind what they do, right? And what do you guys? Why do you guys do it?
Because fishing's become such a big part of our life.
Yeah.
So you just want to continue to be a part of it. And I don't know, it's for me to support my husband, to support Nick, and because he had a vision, so why wouldn't you support your person, right? But also it's giving the kids something to see that you want to do something, that you can do it, and you just have to put everything. They see all of our hard work, dedication, and he's made so many good relationships and stuff in this community that you just want to keep being part of it.
So you guys obviously like redid the heads again, right? How was that? Like, how was it turning it, like going from a certain style to another style?
Because he always has an idea. Always something different, or thinking of the next thing he wants to do. So I'm just behind him to clean up the mess and
That's the truth.
and then reorganize after the fact.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you guys are doing everything in house.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
You guys pour, you guys paint. Now
Me and my son, our
that's what I was
oldest
gonna ask
one.
next.
Yeah.
Like, it's a team.
Yeah, it's
right?
definitely, it's family. It's all family ran. Anything bought from us is supporting our family, supporting basketball, supporting everything about our life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And it's cool because it's made here, right?
Yeah.
It's made here for people that
100%.
fish here. Now, the big question is, do you fish?
I did before I had Axton, and then as soon as I had him, Nick never took me fishing again.
Oh,
So I stayed home.
Nick, if you're watching this video, you got to take your wife out fishing.
Yeah, I need to learn about it. I need to learn a little more. I do like fishing. I don't like being cold. So that is a problem.
That's the problem?
That is a problem. I hate being cold. But yeah, I like fishing.
So-
I caught the first bass
There you go. So you were
ever. Nick tried for the first 3 years, never caught one.
Wait. You went out with your husband, which
Yeah.
is Nick from
Yes.
VikingHeads,
Yeah,
and you caught the first fish of the family.
I did. And I said,
That just adds to another story of
I did.
the Nick adventures.
Yeah. Yeah, and he didn't believe me. He was like, oh, no, you don't have anything. Yeah, until I pulled it up and it was a bass. Yeah.
Largemouth at Ralphie.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty.
nice.
It was pretty fun.
Fucking tits.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
Roxanne, I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your side of what the company is. Because, Nick's the face, right?
Oh, for sure.
And I wanted to showcase
100%.
you. And I'm happy that you made this.
Yeah, and the mouth, definitely.
But thank you, and
Thank
continue
you.
doing your work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're continuing with episode 100 of Time on the Water. And I'm here with Lazy Tom. What's up, man? Luke wanted me to catch up with you because you recently went out with him. But before we start, man, introduce yourself.
Well, first off, my name's Thomas, also known as Lazy Tom. I'm a local bait maker over in LA County. We specialize in some saltwater stuff, some freshwater stuff, soft plastics, the spoons, all sorts of goodies.
Fresh and salt. Let's just say fresh and salt.
Fresh and salt.
You fish bass, you fish trout, you fish carp, you fish bluegills. He got you covered. So I want to talk specifically about that day that trip you took with Luke. He was amazed, by the way. He was amazed because I don't think he've ever seen somebody fish the tube like you do. So break it down. Like, what were you looking for? How did you, like?
Well, that was my first time fishing the break wall, so I really didn't know. It was just kind of going in blind, really. Luke, great guy. Definitely got to get on this boat if you haven't already.
Artemis Charters.
Artemis Charters. With the tube, just same thing I usually do in the harbor. I usually fish the harbor a lot with tubes, and it's always been a twitch pause for me.
Okay, let's pause there. So, you're primarily harbor, like you fish the harbor, right?
I fish it a lot, yeah.
So, what are you looking for in the harbor?
I look for structure. I look for mostly just structure. You know, if I see a dock, I might throw it right underneath that. If I see a piling, I throw it right there. Maybe there's some mooring lines. Just anything any sort of like structure or object, I'm probably throwing it under. Except for boats. I don't like throwing on boats. Guys get mad at that. Don't do that.
Don't do boats. So, what's your go-to bait for short pounding? Like when you're out short pounding, like what's your color? What color do you go for? What size weight?
If it's if the water's not ripping, there's not a lot of current, the wind's pretty low, I'm probably gonna throw an 1/8 ounce tube. If it's starting to push a little stronger, current's ripping a bit, I'm going to switch to a 1/4 ounce. I don't like fishing any heavier than that or anything larger. It just seems a little overkill in the harbor.
Really?
That's my opinion.
That there you go.
That's me personally.
Me personally, I'll start off with a 3/8 ounce, and if it's ripping, I'll go to a 1/2 ounce. Like that's my cap. I think anything
1/2 ounce, I'm usually just going home. Usually it's still windy.
All right, so let's see what color. What like if you hit me up today, hey Charlie, let's go out short pounding, and I want to put you on a tube bite.
Well, if I don't have any bright colors, which odds are I do, I got this color right here. I don't know if you can pick it up too well in the shade on the camera,
but it's like a brownish, right?
Yeah, it's got a little brown to it. It might have a little green hint when it hits the sun just right. It's got a little red belly, bunch of glitter that's gonna shine. We call it our wounded warrior.
Okay, so this would be something you would give me if I'm short pounding.
Heck, you could have one right now.
Oh, sick! Thank you, man.
I got you.
So what's your rod? Like, what's your breakdown? Are you a 1 rod guy or are you a 2 rod guy for short pounding?
I like to lean more towards 1 rod. That's just me personally.
Me too.
1 rod usually does it. If I want to have some fun, I'll throw the light gear. I got an ultralight.
What's light?
A light rod.
Like, but okay, light rod, and then what's your line weight?
I usually got, if it's a bait caster setup, 30-pound braid with no heavier than 15 fluoro.
That works.
That's light in my mind.
Yeah, especially when you're fishing the salt, right?
Oh yeah.
I fish 20 and 25, sometimes 30, but it just depends, right?
It really does.
I feel like a lot of guys up like in San Diego could get away with like 8-pound, and because they're fishing a lot of grass, right?
A lot of grass.
It's more of a like fighting the fish. But when we're fishing riffraff, we're fishing rocks, and I think when you're low, odds are you're losing a lot of fish, right?
Yeah, you got a horse him, I think, over here at least. There's just a lot of structure.
Aside from tubes, what else do you pour?
I got some larger plastics as well if we're talking like saltwater stuff. These guys right here, this is our larger 4-inch. We call them the lazy bugger.
All right.
If I like throwing like swim bait style baits, maybe on like a swing head or underspin, maybe even an A-rig, I'm throwing that.
Cool. So, where can we find you?
Find us on Instagram, Lazy Tom's Lures, or we have our website, lazytomslures.com, as well as obviously tackle meat. We come with quite a bit of these. So, yeah.
So here's the $1 million question. Why do you pour baits?
I like seeing the look on people's faces when they catch fish.
Love it.
I can care less if I catch fish. I like seeing others catch fish. Man.
Love it.
Hey guys, we're out here in La Habra. It is definitely a scorcher. We got hot weathers, but even hotter people and hotter baits. We are here with Pedro, Bite Time Customs. Also a good friend, and that's why we have him on. But I specifically wanted to have him on and talk about crankbaits. He does a crazy job with painting hard baits. You do soft plastics as well, right?
Yes, right now currently I am revamping everything from that. So I'm working with Lunker Works right now for making me 3D molds and stuff like that from baits that I made from clay, put in the silicone, made my own stuff, fished it. If I like how it swims, casting resin, send it off to him. Hey, I need these as a production bowl. Currently, that's a process going right now because
Oh, Daniel, you know the process very well.
Hey, yeah, actually, we've been in contact a lot about the whole process. For anyone who is thinking about the soft plastic world and wants to potentially jump in it with their own custom baits and all that stuff, Pedro mentioned it, Lunker Works. You can always hit them up. They do crazy good 3D work, sand, clear coat, sand, clear coat, and then repeat that another 10 times and you'll have crispy baits when you mold them. So that's one of the processes we've talked about. Pedro, Bite Time Customs, has some awesome baits in the soft plastics, but again, does crazy work with the painting on hard baits, and we're gonna jump into that because I wanna talk about crankbaits. So we have a couple of displays here. Of course,
6XD.
we have the fabled 6XD. These are one of the ones that I use personally in the harbor. The 6XD is one of my favorites. It's a little bit heavier than the 5XD. We have the 6XD from Strike King. Now, you can repaint anything, really. So if you guys want to have something customed, you can send it over and we can get it painted up. So here's a little tip for you guys. The 6XD weighs heavier than the 5XD, but they're still in the same depth range of fishing. So what I like to do, if I'm really trying to huck that out there, I'll fish the 6XD because it's a little bit bigger, but it's still compact enough that you can catch spotties and you can catch those inner harbor bass. But if you're around the docks and don't need to huck it as far, you can downsize to the 5XD.
You can also, if you're gonna go downsize, I have the Pro Fat Papa 55 and the OSP Blitz. Those are a lot smaller, a little lighter, and those are present a better profile when it gets finicky.
Yeah. The cool thing about this is you can get whichever bait fits your system, your area, your ecological fishery that's custom to you and all of that. You can get customized fishing. It's fun.
Low tide, high tide.
Exactly. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was actually specifically that, low tide and high tide. So with the high tide, even with the low tide, you can fish the 5XD. If it's really low or medium to low, you can go straight into the 3X. But Bite Time Customs has everything from shallow to deep that you're looking for, with also sick colors. Now, where were you thinking when you were like, you know what, that's what we're doing, we're gonna jump into this?
I mean, you could say the same thing. Just that age. I want to try this, I want to get into it. Hey, I like this or I don't like it, and I happen to just like painting it. Started off with rattle can, just trying to get close as I can, decent paint jobs. Then I went to airbrush, but I didn't use airbrush paints. I was using acrylic paints and making my own thinner.
Ooh.
So I was like coat paint. So the dollar little paint that kids paint with and stuff like that. I was buying that. And making my own thinner and thinning it down and doing that. So a lot of some of your first baits that you bought from me, we're done with that. And then
mind you, they still look good, by the way.
The bigger glide bits that I had painted for certain customers that caught like some pretty big fish on it and everything, we're done that way, because I mean, a fish doesn't know.
Absolutely.
Fish
yes.
doesn't know any of that. So
hey guys, the fish know what paint you're using, so make sure you're using only premium paint out here. But one of the things that actually made me laugh a little bit is, as a fellow person with like ADHD, I'm gonna try and figure out a way and then realize that I don't like it, and then I'll probably end up going to something else. So it's like, I used to make stickers. I love stickers, I love making them. I went through the whole process of doing it and trying to do it is like to the best of my ability. So I wanna actually dig in a little bit about Salty Bastards and the Bite Time Customs collab. I know you guys are doing that. What are you painting up for it?
So we're doing zombie rat. We're doing a 5-inch wake bait rat and a 3-inch wake bait rat. One has the bigger one has the both of our initials on each side of the rat and everything like that. The bigger rat also has laser engraved bills, and then the smaller rat is done up as best as I can, and I colored the tail for it and everything like that. And it's something that me and Jeff from Salty Bastards love fishing and stuff like that. Same thing, Lunchbox Pats has been catching a pretty big largemouth on it. I would like to try and throw a rat in the saltwater, but I need the opportunity to do that.
We have had that conversation, which is fun. I think it's possible. There's a couple of places that come to mind. I think we could do it.
I think we should do a saltwater rat trip and try and figure it out.
Let's talk about rods for crankbaits.
Gotcha.
We're talking crankbaits, right? You guys are talking about crankbaits. Pedro, you paint baits. Daniel, you fish crankbaits. But I want to take like your perspective and Pedro's perspective. What is your rod and reel choice?
It really depends on what you want to throw. If you're throwing the 5 and the 6 XDs, you do want a little bit of a heavier rod with a fast action tip. You want that backbone because what you're most likely going to do is you're going to huck those baits out.
Like you said, it's a fast action rod. And the way I fish it is I chuck it out as far as I can, and I have a 200 size trank, 8-to-1 gear ratio. And I just bring it in, trying to get it into the strike zone as fast as possible. Do you care for
gear ratio?
Now, this is probably going to be controversial. It's going to be different. I actually,
everybody has their own way they like.
I fish crankbaits as slow as possible. So I don't necessarily care for a high gear ratio because I know once I get it down there, I'm going to be going plop, plop, plop. I'm not running it along, just I'm looking to just go doot, 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 just a really slow as I possibly can, but keeping that bottom contact. That has been this year's success with the crankbait. I do know that, you know, you can switch it up and go fast as well, but my success this year has been going slow as possible.
That just all depends on like when you're trying to find that strike zone, where they're at and everything like that. I mean, once you get it around that area, you change it up and stuff like that. But also what changes depth and everything, apart from that, is also, you know, line size and like mono versus fluoro. That helps change depth a little bit too.
Guys, that's going to wrap up this one. We really appreciate you guys tuning in, but we're going to have fun. We're going to jump into the next interview right now. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, we're continuing our journey here at the 100th episode of Time on the Water. And who did I run into? Daggerface. I beat you to it.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, man. What do you do?
I'm Daggerface. I do fishing designs for the fishing industry.
Do you fish?
I fish.
He does fish, by the way. But you're known for having a lot of like the community hooked up with some cool designs.
Correct.
Where does that stem from?
I've been tattooing for the past 20 plus years, so, and I fish, so I just added it together.
So you tattoo, like you have a shop?
No, I tattoo mobile.
Okay.
Private.
So you like house calls?
Pretty much.
All right. So when somebody hits you up, like what do you require? What do you need from them?
For the graphics?
Yeah, for the graphics.
Just a basic idea. They could do a rough sketch. Even have it look like a 5-year-old did it, and I'll still get the gist of the idea.
What's been the funnest thing about designing for the community?
Seeing my shirts everywhere.
Right? Dude, like, I always said this, man, like, art transcends this, like, emotion, right? And seeing somebody's face, like, when you, maybe not their face, but, like, their messages, right? Like, oh, this shit came out dope.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that they're, like, makes you keep going more and more and more, which is cool. you know, you become a really good friend of mine. I reached out to you. Do you remember?
Yes.
And I was like, you replied. And it's hard, you know, sometimes people like don't reply and like
they're too cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And you replied and I was like, dude, that's very humbling, you know, because as artists, you know, you feel like people are always trying to take your stuff and like, you know, you're very reserved, but you're very open about it. Talk about that, man.
Just, you know, raised by my dad and my mom. It's just to respect everybody and treat everybody equal to how you want to be treated. And there are some people online that are too big with a huge following and people message them, or, you know, I've messaged people before and they don't respond and they leave you on red.
Dude, and that's the worst part.
Yeah, that's the worst part. So I would never leave somebody on red. I always respond. Sometimes I'll talk to people for an hour, you know, just back and forth through DMs. So I just think it's better to reply and be humble than to not reply and act like you're cool.
Yeah. So I mean, if you haven't seen Daggerface designs online or on Instagram, I don't know what to say because you're everywhere, you know,
all over the states,
all over the states,
all overseas too.
But what's been one of your like all-time favorites? Like maybe something you created by like for yourself. Let's not just like niche it to one thing, right? Like not to one person or one thing, but like you did it and you're like, damn.
Oh, I did something, nothing crazy. It was a tour short for Scott Martin, Roland Martin's son. And that was pretty crazy because he let me put my logo on his shirt. So on his tour shirt, like all the designs on the back I did, and he let me put Daggerface on the back. So that was pretty cool. Nothing crazy, just font. But I thought that was cool that he allowed me to put myself on the back of his tour shirt. Nothing else.
Which is cool though, right?
Good
The fact that you get to put your stuff on a shirt that's gonna be seen by maybe thousands of people.
Yeah, right.
It's already humbling in itself, right? Like I don't need anything in return.
Major.
So I think that's really cool, man. It separates you, you know, and you're humbled. You love art, right? You just did 2 insane little pieces that you brought to the tackle meet.
2 limited edition.
Dude, like
limited to 20.
He gifted me one of his little cards, and I'm super stoked for this. I've been a supporter of you since the longest.
I appreciate it.
You know, and I love what you do.
Thank you.
I have a couple of your shirts from T Official brand, which you've done a couple pieces for them. But I'm stoked, dude, to be able to call you my friend and to see your stuff out there, man. You know?
Always.
But if you could leave here with giving somebody one message, what would that be?
Dream big and don't give up, you know, basically.
So that means if you have an idea and you think it's too crazy, it's probably not. Just pursue it, you know? And like I said, man, I love what you're doing. And
thank you.
Thanks for this interview, brother.
Thank you.
So, what's up, guys? We're continuing our journey into our 100th episode of Time on the Water. And who did I run into? A good friend of mine, Victor from Western Species.
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Man, you do a lot for the community.
I try.
But what's been going on with Western Species? What's on the work? What's happening? Well, first of all, introduce yourself.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? My name is Victor from Western Species family. Yeah, we've been doing this 2014. Yeah, we've been on the water, giving back to the community. You know, trying to be at every event. And yeah, we're here to stay, and we're never. You know,
we're never going away.
We're never going away. Never. Can't stop, won't stop.
No, so you recently had a really big event at the pier.
Yeah, kids fishing event. Yeah, we try to give back mostly to the kids. When we have something going on, yeah, the kids are our main priority. Yeah, always. It has always been for me. I don't know about everybody else, but I like giving back to the community, and the kids are our next, you know, generation. Yeah, next generation, the next ones that are gonna take, you know, hey, Theo Vic, can I get your rod? I was like, hey, you can have it, mijo. Go ahead, catch some fish, catch some spotties, fan bass, calicos, whatever you guys want. There it goes.
Dude, so I watched your episode of Casting Crank. You were like one of the first ones on that.
Third one, I think it was the third one.
So you said something very cool on that episode, and it resonated with me because I'm from South Central.
Yeah, South Central LA.
You know, yes.
Stay dangerous.
I'm on the west side of South Central. I'm on the other side.
I'm on the west side too, dog. Grew up on the west side. You know this. 97th in Normandy.
Dude, I grew up fishing Magic Johnson Lake.
Magic Johnson.
That was
that's
a family gathering.
That's our paradise.
Sunday.
That's our paradise right there. Our getaway from the hood and get away from the ruckus.
But you said one thing, and it was like that was your getaway. Like
it's our getaway.
I wanted to go fishing. Man, we would go and stay there for hours.
It would keep me away from the streets.
And when oh, my dad kept me away from the streets.
Yeah, my dad did that. That's why. My dad used to take me to the beach.
To the lake. He's like, we're going fishing on Sunday. You know, but I didn't even have fancy gear, man. Like I started off, he taught me how to fish like how they used to fish in El Salvador with a stick and a line, whatever they had, right? But it was more fishing for like sustainable fishing, like to eat. We're over here fishing for fun, you know? Or maybe we would have catch some stuff over
Nah, but I will fish to eat. Yeah, I will fish to eat.
That's what I'm saying. So
man, the croakers were the best ones. The big croakers.
Dude, I'm not
on the grill.
We used to catch buckets of bluegill at
bluegills. Ooh, those are good too.
Hey man,
deep fry them.
Deep fried bluegill. But
they're like chips.
That always resonated with me because that's how it was.
Yeah.
And when we chopped it up, because we never had chopped it up till that one time we talked on the phone. And it was like, dude, we like live right near each other.
We didn't even know we were the same culture and everything.
Nothing.
But you see how fishing just unites us? I want to know about this guy. He wants to know about me. Boom.
But
it's like a big explosion.
Really cool, man. And like seeing your events, and you just hosted something too. You guys host something at
a little kickback just to get the family together, you know. It's just you know, just trying to get everybody together, you know, to loosen up. It's the end of summer. We don't want to be over here freaking thinking about bills. Yeah, it's mostly a summer thing. Okay. But you know, we're in the works of trying to do like stuff, you know, let's go do a Kern River kickback, stuff like that. You know, we'll do it. We've done it before.
No, but I'm talking about like your little seminars that you do hosting.
Oh yeah, no, that's KC Anglers. You guys go to KC Anglers in Downey. They usually have those meetings, but you know, I'm trying to help out, trying to give, you know.
So you're more promote, like you promote it.
I promote it. Yeah, I promote it. You know, it's been a club. I've been going there since I was in my 20s going there. You know, all the older heads will give me game, and then we'll go from there. You know, we'll learn stuff from them, and that's how it goes. You know.
Well, Vic, it's always a pleasure running into you, man. I love what you do. I mean, we come from the same place, so it makes it even better.
We come from the same place?
Yeah.
Where you come from?
South Central, my boy. South
Central, what's up, Linwood? Linwood, baby.
But
Linwood.
Honestly, dude, like watching you come up, and from when I started fishing, it's been
watching you come up. It's been it's like, man, dog.
Appreciate it, brother.
You're doing your thing, bro, and I love that. I love seeing somebody, you know, come from the bottom and not forget where they're coming from the roots. You know?
Never.
You know, you let it be known I'm from South Central.
100%.
The west side of South Central, like I say.
The other side of the one.
And I love that. You know, we come from, a lot of people don't know where we come from. We come from gang violence, or like you just because of your skin color.
But it's a trip because that was our norm. That was our norm. That was our norm.
And all we knew was game banging and talking shit and violence.
Don't be there at this time.
But we chose the right path of going with fishing. Oh, fishing, man, fishing. I love fishing. All right, let me go more into fishing.
It's true, man.
Yeah, we follow that.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you for giving us this interview. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Keep doing your thing, man. And
keep doing you.
Don't let this die, dog.
Don't let you doing
don't let
you,
this
bro.
Die. But
keep listening. Yeah, he's got a lot more stuff coming up. Yeah.
Hey, we both do.
Yeah.
What about us three?
I'm about to get in the dunk tank. I don't know if you guys want to see that.
Follow. Let's go. He's gonna get in the dunk tank.
Let's go. All right, guys. Thank you for watching.